This is not something to take lightly. This is not something to ignore. It's something to take serious.
Here today with Bartlett Fence to teach y'all a few things about the importance of gate safety.
So gate safety became something to me. I've been around this industry since I was 5 years old and came into it full time about 10, 11 years ago, something like in that nature. Went to AFAU in November 2019. I'll never forget that week. I learned a lot. I was overwhelmed with knowledge to bring back, but one of the biggest things I learned was gate safety. I'll never forget one night I was sitting there, a little restaurant inside the hotel. We're having some conversations, me and a couple guys that work with me back home. Then when we get back, there's some things we're gonna immediately do on Monday to go back and fix some jobs that we've already completed because it kind of just made us nervous. We had a new wealth of knowledge. It was an eye-opener learning that week and seeing everything from the liability, the loss of life, getting hurt, and so many other things that play a role for doing this in our everyday operations out in the field and keeping follower protection at the frontmost of what we do when we're installing gates.
The morning I sat down with him, I talked to him about it and everything, and he looked at me and he said, all right, he said, we can do it. But he said, the most important thing you have to learn, and this was after the fact of him coming back from Texas, is if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it the right way. My grandfather, Rick Bowers, once told me that if something's worth doing, it's worth doing the correct way the first time. I was gonna have to learn the safety factors of automation, and the most important of it, follower protection. To be honest with you, when he told me that, I'd never heard of follower protection other than a few conversations in between here and there. And as I started learning about it, I had my first son when I first got into this part of the industry. I got to a point where every gate that I would install, I would think to myself, my son was crawling in front of it. Would I trust this gate that I just installed with an operator or without an operator? Would I trust it to swing? And I always think to myself, every time I touch a gate, do I trust this gate to operate properly?
You know, I'm a dad, I'm a granddad. I want to make sure when I walk away from something or my guys walk away from something, we feel confident we've done everything in our power to make sure that gate, no matter if it's a cantilever, rollover, V-track, swing, metal frame with wood, ornamental, chain link, 6+1, 10+1, it doesn't matter. We've done everything in our power to make sure that gate is safe as it can be. And we started doing it's a simple version of a quality control, but it was something just to, hey, this technician, this installer's done this person over here is come back behind him and check it. You know, now this person needs to have knowledge just as much as that person does, but it's a double check system because we just became so adamant about doing it right the first time, protecting ourselves, protecting the property owners, and protecting the human nature that's walking around it.
And we come to realize with our V-track and aluminum track gates, we would set 2 posts on either side of the gate, in which if in any situation that gate were decided to break loose and fall, it would not move past a 45-degree angle. And then on our Rollo gates and our Rollo gates and cantilever gates, we would take a 3-inch Schedule 40 post, galvanized post or black vinyl post, and we would set it within 6 inches of that gate. And so if the Rollo gate the bolts were to come loose, or even the U-bolts on the cantilever wheels, if they were to ever come loose and that gate were to fall, it would go straight down and not even pass a 45-degree angle. And even on those gates, a little bit more on some safety, just to kind of let you know. When you have a slide gate, you know, you can, we always use the chain link method and the tennis ball method. You can't have no more than a 2 1/4 inch gap in between whether it's your picket spacing for an iron gate or using 11.5 gauge chain link on a slide gate. You can't do that because of the spacing in it. And so we got to a point on a lot of our aluminum track gates and our iron sliding gates that we would actually put expanding metal on it to prevent even more safety. Just give you a tidbit more knowledge on safety. Sorry, I love safety.
So let's talk about swing gates. I got one behind me. This is actually mine at my house. When it was first put up, didn't have an operator on it, didn't have a safety chain on it. Fall 23, went down. That winter I put an operator on this and then immediately put a safety chain on it. Why? It's in my yard with my grandkids and my kids, neighborhood kids, running in and out of this thing all day long because unfortunately they all know the coach fit, but it's all good.
Well, you're the fun house.
Yeah, I'm the fun house. But that safety chain that's on the, make sure you're putting it on the right side of the gate. Which way is the gate opening? Ask yourself that. Why does that chain need to go there? Kind of makes sense when you start thinking about it, right? I prefer welding them on. It is in the standards that it can be tech screwed. Not my favorite way to do it. Tech screwed, that kind of weight, it's gonna pop out pretty quick. So I'd much rather weld it on, leave it there. I've had customers say, I don't want that chain on my gate. Well, then great. I'm putting that gate on the truck and you have your money back. Call somebody else. And you have to explain, after you explain why, and you're adamant about it, it's a non-negotiable. We do a lot of metal frame gates with wood on it. Safety chains went on all 3 of those gate wings. It is a non-negotiable. If you're new to this game, you're new to this industry, or you're hearing about this for the first time, or you're seeing gate safety go around on social media, and you don't know where to go to get the answers, ASTM, UL 325, what does that mean? I promise you, any of these guys, you pick the phone up and get a hold of them. If you don't know how to get a hold of them, get a hold of me. I can get you their phone number, get you on the phone with them, okay? But if you call them, because I call them, I'm going to tell you what, 7 o'clock last night, honest guy's statement, I was on the phone with Philip, had a gate question. I wanted a second opinion. I wanted to know what I didn't know. And I was okay at 7 o'clock at night having that 30-minute phone conversation. But Kyle, tell them about going through OIS.
Absolutely. I went through it, like you said, in 2023. And going down there, I was not expecting, to be honest with you, I didn't know what to expect. And when I got down there, it was a big family of people who loved one another. And it was a different beast for me, because not only were there people my age there that were eager to learn, but there was the older generation there willing to teach us and prepare us for when we were that age, and when we had more experience, and when we were wanting to step out on our own or become foremans or anything of that nature. That big family down there that I still talk to a lot of them to this day. I have a good buddy of mine who works with LiftMaster. I call that dude probably 3 or 4 times a week sometimes, and every time we end up talking for an hour while I'm sitting there working on an operator, that in order for you to touch a gate, in order for you to look at a gate, in order for you to breathe on a gate, safety. And every one of them guys down there, I can guarantee, would agree with me on this, that before you can even think about doing anything, think about safety. For the younger generation that's getting into it, be willing to learn and be willing to absorb, be willing to ask questions. Because when I first got into it, and I felt, I don't even know how to describe the knowledge that these men have, and the way, like you just said, the way they do things, but then the way they taught me, and I was able to figure out my own way of doing it and teach them things. And that's just what makes this industry a big family.
If you can make the time to be down there and go through any of these classes, the takeaway in education, the ROI on it is huge. And it's not just on the knowledge of installs of operators of fence or sales of fence or, the operations of a fence company. It's the takeaway of being able to pick up a phone and call a gentleman. I'm in Memphis, Tennessee. I can make a call down to Florida. I can make a call out to Denver, California, Canada, Chicago, bounce ideas and things off these guys at any point in time to try and get some knowledge off of something I'm doing, see how they would do it. You can't put a price on that. You got to be educated. We are a trade. Education is what you got to have. Education makes you better. Education saves life in gate safety. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Remember gate safety in all you do. And I hope you all be safe. Stay well. Love you. See you soon.